Mhm. Did it go live? Okay, there we go.
Mhm.
I don't know why my computer is. Sorry, guys. We do second chances here. Did you catch that? Hello, welcome tonight. I hope you caught it, right? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Java City Literary Lounge. I am your host tonight, Sharon Blount. I'm your host, Sharon Blount. Let me make sure I said my name. Welcome tonight. I'm excited and I'm fangirling, so I'm a little nervous on top of that because I have been a fan of Yahrah from her first book. So I'm excited to have her here. And in my excitement, I decided to bring on one of her biggest fans. Her name is Tiffany Jones from Tiff Happy Place. So you know we are going to have, look, she got a book.
I
We,
already
we
read
know we're going to have a good time. So, ladies and
She beat me.
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome award-winning author Yahrah St. John to Java City Literary Lounge.
Hi, everyone. Great to see
Thank
everybody
you.
tonight on a Friday night. Hope everyone's had a good rest of the week.
Yeah, it's been a long week. Has it been a long week for anybody else?
Mhm.
A
Yeah,
long week
okay.
for me. I came back from a week vacation, so now I got to
I
get back into the
know.
grind. So,
I know.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a rough
yeah. But
week.
it's like you had fun on vacation. I was like, I
Oh,
want to go as
me and
Yara.
hubby know how to do it up.
Yes, you and
That's why we
Yara.
got these great, fascinating stories.
Yeah, you and Farah. I want to come back as y'all luggage because y'all go to beautiful places. Just let me be the luggage. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for joining us this week. And thank you for coming each week as well. So, as I said, we are having a conversation with award-winning author Yahrah St. John, and we're gonna bring in Tiff from Tiff Happy Place. And Tiffany, can you take a minute to tell people who you are?
Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany Jones of Tiff's Happy Place. I am an avid reader. I also moderate and I do book reviews and I also interview. Um, so I am out here on these internet streets. You can find me at Tiff's Happy Place on Instagram as well as Facebook. Um, yeah,
All right, and she's gonna get back to them interviews. So you got the
I
talk
am.
business.
Let me be honest with you. For those who follow me, I've been going through a lot of family issues. I'm an only child and I have an elderly mother that I
Mhm.
do take care of during the week. She's not that heavily needed of me, but to drive her around and take her to her
Yeah.
appointments. But my husband has also gone through some health issues within the last 6 months that I've been dealing with as well. So that's
Mhm.
why I have been on a little bit of a. I'm in play, but I'm just not interviewing. I plan on getting back to it though. But bear with me as I deal with
Mhm.
being a human and dealing with family issues.
Amen. You know, I know. So,
I know you know.
yeah, well, we thank you for joining us tonight with everything you got going on. I appreciate you. And, I
Thank you.
understand. So, not last but not least, that award-winning author I was telling you about. Just in case you have never heard of her, I'm gonna let her introduce herself so she could tell you a little bit about herself.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Sharon. Again, my name is Yahrah St. John. I am an author of 50 books. I am a hybrid author in which I traditionally publish as well as self-publish. I've been around for 2 decades. I can't believe it. It's hard to believe,
Mhm.
but 2 decades with 50 books behind me. I primarily just write romance, though I've dabbled a little bit in women's fiction a couple of times. Um,
Mhm.
I'm excited. I can't believe I've actually made it here um, to such a momentous occasion and hitting 50 books. And I'm ending the series here. If you are not familiar with my 6 gem series, this is the last and final book in a 6 book series
Mhm.
titled 6 Gems. So Breakpoint is the last book and 50th book for me.
And we're gonna talk
Under
about that.
Afterglow.
Yes,
Yes, with Afterglow.
afterglow. But we're gonna get into
Yeah.
that.
Let's
Excuse
do
me.
it.
I'm still dealing with the flu and pneumonia, guys. I'm gonna say sorry one time. Sorry. So we're gonna get into that. First, I want to say this, right? I have been a fan of yours from day one. I've read all of your one on the last one right now. I read all of your books. So for me, I wanted to make sure I said this to you. When I first started to read you 20 years ago, I had a physical book club of building relationships around books. I used to tell people, you got to read her books. It's good. It's good. And like, we don't know. I'm like, no, you got to read it. So for me to see the globe, one magic moment,
Wow.
and I own all her books, right? But I do. They're just so good. But to see where you came from and see you now and see you on your journey, and I feel like you have gotten more and more confident each book gone into. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you to see where you are at. Can you? I love to see that. Wow, you have 50 books, and I knew you on that first book. So I just wanted to say I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy for you as well. So congratulations on your 50th book.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say hi to Tanya Brown River. I see she's been making a couple of comments in the comment section. But yeah, Nia and Damon, my very, very first book. This is the original cover. So if you have one of these, you're one of the lucky few. So yeah, it's been a journey because I can definitely tell I'm a different writer than I was years ago. The growth and character development and plot and story. Their characters are more nuanced. The storylines are more dramatic and more complicated. The characters are more complex. So yeah, I definitely it's been a journey to get here, but an exciting one.
Sorry, my it's going. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason it went into my Bluetooth over here. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that it's working. But as you were saying, the growth, you were always and have always been a fantastic writer. But you are right. When I went back to read the first book, I'm like, okay, still good. But I can tell the difference from first book. Even with my own, I'm like, okay, girl, you are growing. You don't see it at first until you go back to your older work. So either way, I just wanted to make sure to let you know that I'm proud of you. I'm happy to see you on this journey, to see you still doing it and doing it at an excellent level. So you are goals to me to one day get to where you are at. So
it has been difficult, Sharon, if I can say it, because I remember when I first started out, this first book I signed with BET Books under Yahrah. And then no sooner than a year or two into my contract, my mom passes away. And on top of that, Harlequin buys BET. So then I'm literally like, oh my God, what am I doing? And Harlequin kind of backburnered me. And so, because I wasn't ready to deliver the book, I was grieving, going through that process. And so my third book didn't even come out till like a year and a half after like my second one. So it took me a while. So I had to keep pushing,
and rebuild.
Forward.
And you do have to refocus.
And try to refocus myself when, I was kind of pushed aside, but I refused to let them push me aside. And I also got an agent that helped. In my early days, I was unagented and I was kind of doing it all myself. And I realized I needed a voice to help push along and get me a little bit more money at the same token. And then that definitely seemed to help in my journey by getting that agent. She kept pushing me to the forefront. I started getting more book deals. I started getting noticed and started to get kind of like one editor with Glenda and meeting with her in person. And then that kind of helped me stay on the path.
Got you. And you know what? I'm happy that you are sharing that. I think as for me, a newer author, to hear, okay, she has been through this and she still pushed on and still got to where you are at now, it's motivating because writing is such a solitude thing and it's quick to get in your own head about things. So, I'm happy that you still got up and said, no what, I can still grieve, but I can still write and do what I have to do. So I'm proud of that because not everybody can do that. So I'm happy to hear that because now we got all these good books that we're going to talk about. We're about to talk about. All right. So, excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna go a little bit. I do have a list of questions that I have, but me and Tiffany, she's gonna come in with me as well and have her reader based questions. So Tiffany, please come in if you have any questions. I want this to be very much collaborative. You ready? All right, let's get into it. I want to welcome Tanya Brown Rivers, Jennifer Copeland,
Yep.
and Tony Beniti. I was gonna say Jennifer Lopez, y'all.
Lord.
I had to stop. I'm so sorry. Oh, and I'm reading. I see it. I know the name, but it was Jennifer Lopez.
She said Copeland. Wait, no.
Yep.
Yeah, Jennifer Copeland.
The struggle is real. All right, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to Java City. As you see, things can go a little left in a good way. All right. So, how do you feel about Point Break being your 50th book? Did you ever think you would be here? Why or why not?
Breakpoint. I think you did it backwards, but that's okay.
And I have it right here with the right name, child.
I know. It's all right. You're reading.
Sharon, what you taking for your cold?
Girl. And maybe I shouldn't have took that cough syrup because girl.
But did I ever think I could get here? You know, I tried over my writing journey to kind of look at things in little snippets. First book, 10th, I gave myself little goals. First book, 10th book, 25th. I think once I hit 25th, going to 50 seemed like massive and an entirely huge journey to overcome. But I also started writing faster because I think I really found my rhythm. Definitely, I think by 25, I hit a rhythm and I knew the cadence and I knew how to just kind of churn them out, especially if I had a great idea and a great series. And so, so I started to see it a little bit more. But then I worried once I got to 6 gems, I'm in the middle of doing 6 gems. And then they say, we're closing down the Desire line. I'm like, no, I still have 3 books left in this series. And it was important to me as a writer to finish what I started.
Yeah.
And I wanted my readers to finish and get the rest of the stories of the 6 gems. So that's again, having the agent help push that for me. But I also stood up for myself and I was like, listen, I've been writing for you guys for almost 20 years. It's time you gave me some notice. I want to be the headlining Black author coming out of the gate on the Afterglow line. And I was.
Love it.
And so that helped get the first of Frenemy Fix Up and then going toe to toe and then finally Breakpoint out. And I can finally see that 50th come to life.
And I'm happy that you stood up. And I think that when you are in a big house, the big 5, I call them, some people lose their voice. And I'm happy you didn't feel intimidated by that you said, know what? I know my worth and I know my ability and let's do it this way. And I love that. I love that.
And one of the other things was they were going to push it out and do like 1 book a year. And I said, no, they need to come out within a year and a half, 2 in a year, and then the other one. I do not want them dragged out. We already are into the series, knee deep, 3 books in, and it's got to come out in a year and a half. I will not budge. Well, you're going to have to write faster. Fine. I will do it.
Now, Yahrah, let me ask you a question. You say that you write faster, but how do you come up with fresh ideas? Because you don't want to be repetitive in what you write. And I know that you are also a reader and you don't want to repeat what you've read in other works. How do you come up with fresh ideas?
Great question.
That's a really good question.
I'm sorry.
For this one, for me, it was actually what each gem.
Right. It followed the series.
And so for me, it was like their career. And I wanted something different I hadn't seen before. For me, I hadn't seen a tennis star. I hadn't seen a ballet star. I hadn't seen a yoga instructor. So those
definitely see that in the other sector. Yes.
so I hadn't seen them really a lot in African American romance. So that's
There
why
you
I
go.
decided that would be a good segue for me to try something different for those heroines.
Okay.
So that's kind of, and usually the career helped me from there come up with the plot.
Yep. Those careers matter.
They do. They
matter
really do. It helped me think of the backstory and everything.
And just in case someone is not familiar with your work, how many books are in the Gem series?
6 books are in the Gem series.
Okay.
Oh, I knew that right away.
Well, we know it.
I shared this cover with the elite Miss Brenda Jackson, her Secret Billionaire, her One Night Consequence, Frenemy Fix Up, Going Toe to Toe, and Breakpoint.
Okay, I have a question. It's not on here, but when I look at the covers, right, and I notice the difference, was that done on purpose? Did you have a say, or did the publishing house say, "Well, we're going to go this way"? How did that come about? Because I love
Afterglow decided that based on their research that the covers for romance, plus they wanted a bigger book. So these Desire books were more like 55,000. And they felt like the market was trending to a bigger book, 70 to 80,000 words. They were going to a higher price point, and they felt that the more, illustrated covers were gaining popularity. So they wanted to move in that direction. Initially, I was not a fan.
So cute.
I started seeing Farrah's covers, and I was like, okay, I see where they're going with it. And then, but I absolutely loved the first one, Frenemy Fix Up. And so, so I was like, okay, all right, maybe there's something to this. Though my family did at first not get it, but they got on board.
Okay, I love the illustration. I was like, "Whoa!" I just love them. I'm a big fan of illustration book covers. So thank you for sharing that with us. So my next question: when did you decide to write romance, and then not only just write romance, to write AA romance? Just in case you don't know what AA is, it's African American. It's a 2-part question. Well, 3-part. I know when I was talking to someone and she just assumed I wrote African American romance. We can write other romance if we want to. So did you feel like this was your only choice or option to write AA, or how did that come about?
No, I've always, those of you who know me or follow me for years, I've been writing since I was 12 and writing short stories and things like that. And then those stories, because I grew up watching soap operas and things like that, they tended to have romantic elements in them. But I don't think I decided specifically to write romance until I went to Romance Slam Jam here in Orlando. I actually caught the end of it in 2001. It was here in Orlando. I didn't hear anything about it. I heard it on the radio. I went on the last day. I ran into Kayla Perrin. I was talking to her, and she was like, "Oh my God, you sound like you're an author." She's like, "Have you written and I was like, "Yeah, but I've never written a full length. I've written kind of shorter ones." And she said, "Hey, you need to come to the next Romance Slam Jam." I didn't make 2002, but I made 2003. But that's when I decided to write. And I wanted to say too that I had seen the BET books, the movies they made, like Jackson, Donna Hill, Carmen Green books that they did on BET. So I had seen those too. So I think I kind of was moving in that direction. But it's always been African American for me. I have dabbled a little bit in some of the other series I've written for Harlequin with doing interracial, but it's always primarily been African American.
Okay. All right. Thank
Right,
you.
what you know.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think people need to realize African American authors, they choose to write AA books, but they have the complete ability to write in other genres and other ethnicities as well. So this is why I asked that question, because people think
I was able to write, my Dynasty series books. I did an interracial romance. or Secrets of the A-List when I was with a bunch of other, Caucasian authors, and I wrote that series with them, and it was a lot of fun. So we can write anything we want.
Absolutely. Exactly. Tiffany, do you have another question you would like to ask Yahrah? If you don't,
It'll come further down the line when we get to further into it.
No problem. Just come, like Sharon, just tap me in and I got you. All right. Okay. So if you could write a different genre, what would that be and why?
I kind of like romantic suspense.
Mm-hmm.
And I like kind of reading like Sharon Cooper's books, and
Mm-hmm.
so I could definitely see myself maybe dabbling in romantic suspense. I also kind of tend to lean towards women's fiction, and just kind of writing a more kind of serious, dramatic book.
I could see you doing that.
Minor elements of romance. That probably would be where I would go first, but I wouldn't mind dabbling in a little romantic suspense. It could be fun.
Okay, I like that.
So now with the romantic suspense, like, do you watch like Annie and the different channels that show like
ID channel?
Stuff like that.
Occasionally. I wouldn't say it's like my big focus, but occasionally, yeah. You gotta be
because like Jacqueline Thomas, she really gets into her romantic suspense. Like she's very into it. So that's why I asked the question, because like when people write romantic suspense, it's because they watch those ID channels, For My Man and
some of them, and my husband loves watching them. So sometimes he'll pull me in, I'll be like, wow, so I'll get engulfed in, doing some back to back.
But definitely the woman's fiction or that element, I can definitely see that coming out of you, especially since reading this series. I could definitely see a whole wraparound with the gems. Like, but that's just me. I don't know how other people feel, but I could definitely see a wraparound with the women's fiction and the gems.
I can see that as well. So we have a few comments I want to read. If you have any comments, please put them down in the comment section, and I promise I will get back to them. So Tony Benita says the Heart series is her favorite series by you. It was another question. Where is that at? I love your books, Yahrah. That is from Jennifer Copeland.
Jennifer.
I don't know why I want to say Jennifer Copeland. Yeah, I'm just going to say Jennifer. So if you see any more, for some reason, my computer is doing something. Here we go. Let me see. Tiffany, if you see them, for some reason, it's stuck on my end.
So Mama Tony says that she sees a hint of suspense in the Heart series. And then Tanya says that she could see Yahrah writing any genre.
There was some suspense in the Heart series. There was definitely
good memory.
That's a very good memory, Miss Mama Tony.
Yeah, that's I'm like, no, what? She's right. You just read and you're like, all right, this is Yahrah and it's going to be good. That's how I see it. It's just going to be good. I just know you're going to get a good book. And what I like about your books also, they're fast paced. You have a great key for pacing your books where you're not, this is moving slow.
Dragging.
Yeah. I like fast pace myself. So I guess that's why I tend to write faster, like fast pace, because that's kind of how I like. If it starts getting too slow and too in the weeds, I'm like, I start skipping.
Yes,
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Or DNF. Or DNF.
Yep. Real quick. I'm so sorry, but it's the truth. Okay, my next question. Can you tell us about one of your favorite characters from the 6 Gems series? So I'm going to two-part this. When did you get the idea for the 6 Gems series as well? So you can answer whatever order you would like.
Okay. So the idea came from my girls' trip in Gatlinburg, right? In 2001, after COVID. We finally got together after a year and a half or so apart. We were sitting around and I was like, these are my girls, and there's 6 of us. And I was like, wouldn't it be great to write a book about my 6 friends? Now, none of them are really modeled. None of the gems are modeled after my besties, believe it or not. I think probably Winter is probably the closest to me. But that's where the idea came from. Ooh, my favorite. That's hard.
I
Oh,
know.
yeah, that's really tough. Oh gosh. Winter is the closest to me.
Okay.
Um, the writer and the travel person and whatnot. But I really loved Tegan's fighting spirit. Um,
Yes.
so I really liked that.
She had no choice anyway, but
What? What'd you say,
I
Tiffany?
said she had no choice anyway, so
Sure didn't.
Yes, and that she overcame, like a hurdle and an injury. She rebuilt herself, despite what life threw at her. And both her and Lyric both of their storylines kind of had that little bit of element of an injury and overcoming that.
Yeah.
So, but in different ways,
yeah.
So that's really tough. I don't think I answered it.
I didn't think you were going to. So, but I'd like to hear you try. It's for
Now, what
fun.
I do love about this is that although it's a series, you can read them as standalones and not feel lost.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that when it comes to series writing, that you don't leave out on a cliffhanger trying to wait for the next book to come
Yeah.
out. You can read them in any order.
Yes.
And so I do appreciate that.
The only series I didn't do that was the Heart series that Mama Tony liked. I broke up Entangled Hearts into 1 and 2, and I got so much slack for that. Oh my goodness. I was like, I am never doing that again. It's going to be one book.
I did that one time, and they handed me the business.
Lord. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So, all at once.
To actually stem off of Tiffany's question, how do you make sure when you do a series, just in case other people are interested, when you leave off and go to another story, how do you make sure it's not a cliffhanger? How do you make sure that somebody can come in on book 4 and won't feel so left out, or
So I keep a spreadsheet of all the character names, their descriptions, who they're related to. I try to keep a log of what age they were and how old the kids were, because I was like, oh, a fan might get me on that one if I say, Asia's son is like, and I literally started going back. Once I started to get about book 4 or 5, I realized I had to outline the timeline of the 6 gems book and where they were roughly within months to years or so, because I was starting to get in the weeds there for a minute, especially by book 5. So I literally had to go back. I actually pulled out every book and read through them and was like hitting what's the timeline so that I would be true and that, readers, wouldn't catch me in a moment.
Well, see how dedicated authors are. Look how the hard work, and I think people forget that writing isn't easy. It's a lot of work, and if you're an author that's going to make sure your work is at the top of being actual and factual, I say, that's a lot of work. That's not something you had to do. That's something you did because you wanted to make sure you were staying true to your books and your series. So kudos to you, because it's hard. That's something I'm now learning to do as well. So I love that you go out your way to do it. So Tony Benita had a comment. She said, had me wanting to walk to Florida, but I waited. And I guess about the heart.
I think it's the Heart series, yes. When y'all were coming for it.
It'd be hard in these book streets. All right. My next question for you. When you are writing a new book, can you write without a working title or a book cover?
Yeah, I don't need the book cover. Usually I have a rough title. And it was funny when I saw this question, I was like, what was the working title for Breakpoint? I could not remember. Oh my God, that's so bad. I feel like I'm getting old. But I do have a working title. Toe to Toe was the title, but they added the word going. So I usually have some sort of working title, but I usually do need that at least. I mean,
how many times are you able to keep the title?
I was gonna say that.
reason why I probably don't remember Breakpoint's title because I didn't get to keep it.
Got you.
Makes
So
sense.
I would say 1 out of 2 times, every other time I'm
Oh.
able to keep a title. I'm
Mhm.
trying to think. Her One Night Consequence was mine, but I think they helped me with her Secret Billionaire. I was like, I think I had something like Secret Billionaire, and they just like, oh, let's do the her, and so we kind of went there. So, so yeah, usually 1 out of 2 or 3 times I keep.
Okay. Have you ever been attached to a title and they were like, yeah, no? Have you been so attached to a title for one of your books and it hurt your little heart that they was like, no, this ain't gonna work?
Yes, I don't remember which title it was because
Uh-huh.
after 50, I'm starting to lose track.
I could
But there
understand.
have been titles that I really liked, or
Mhm.
I've liked a direction because Breakpoint wasn't originally supposed to be a sports romance. So they
Really?
asked me to add that element. I definitely had her. She was always going to be a real estate agent
Mhm.
because you saw that in the other books. It was briefly mentioned or whatever. But
Mhm.
that tennis element was kind of added in because they felt like I was kind of all the African books
Deviating from.
had a little theme of sportiness
Mhm.
to it,
Yep. Yep.
athleticness. And so they were like, well, can you add that element? And so that's how I was, brainstorming on that and how I could be different.
Okay.
And so I was like, tennis. They told me hockey. I was like, what do you think of hockey? I was like, hockey? No, no, no hockey. I will come up with the idea and I will tell you what I'm going to write. And so it was tennis, and they liked it.
Yeah.
I
Hockey
love
is
how you
good on the other
affirm.
side.
Right?
Yeah.
It didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But what I like that you're firm on what, like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. This is what we're going to do. I love that. I absolutely love that. You know, you're building what you want to write about and what your readers want to read about. So I love that.
Now it's funny when you say hockey because Kayla, who is from Canada, I could see her writing that.
Me too.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
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 But us, I cannot. And I'll leave
No.
it at that. Like it worked for the whole football series. It works. Like,
Yeah.
because you're from down there. It's big, like really big. But when we're not surrounded by it, we can't
Yeah,
relate to it.
Yeah.
I can't write about it.
I could do that justice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that I love that you know that and you things like that. But I bet you could if
If
you
I
chose
wanted
to.
to.
Yeah.
Like they
I bet
asked
you
me about
could.
a race car driver, and it was funny because I've always had that in the back. That's been on my
Mhm.
little list of potential,
But
careers.
that's big down south though, race car
Yeah,
driving.
it is.
It's not.
The
Look,
Daytona
Bubba Wallace.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's right in my backyard if I needed some research.
We have a question and from Tanya. How do you I guess, about researching your character's profession when you are not familiar? That's a great question, Tanya.
No, that's a good question. I
Mhm.
did not know anything about tennis. The U.S. Tennis Association is here
Mhm.
down the street, 15 minutes away from me in Lake Nona. So I went there. A friend of mine played tennis in college, so he helped walk me through everything. I even had him read the tennis scenes to
Mhm.
correct me.
Oh.
Like, does this make sense? Is this correct? Am I stating this correctly? So he did some red line and told me some things to adjust when I was doing that scene. So I
Mhm.
usually will either like research online, I'll utilize any local organizations at my disposal. I ask around, going toe
Okay.
to toe. A friend of mine through
Yeah.
my property manager organization was a former ballerina who owned her own ballet school. Boom.
Wow.
That's my research. That's who I went to. That's who gave me a list of ballet terms, walked me through things. So
Mhm.
sometimes I have resources at the ready near me. Other
Mhm.
times, I remember my third book, Never Say Never. I knew nothing about aortic dissection. And I said that the character, he was a doctor, and his brother died by aortic dissection. It was what happened to John Ritter. But I researched it, and I think I did so well that I remember many years ago that a nurse wrote me and said I did a good job of describing it. So,
oh, so you know you that awesome. You know you bad. You know you bad when they like kudos to you on getting
from someone in that profession. So absolutely. So now I have a question for you. Now I know you love to travel and I know you love to eat. So while we're in this Arizona sphere, what inspired, like, because like when I think Arizona, I'm always thinking Waiting to Exhale because that's visually what I see, right? So like when you're writing and you're talking about the house looking out onto the mountains and stuff like that, I've never been to Arizona, so I wouldn't know.
I was YouTubing it.
Okay.
I was looking at big mansions in Arizona, like watching the videos, trying to give myself a visual because I'd never been to Arizona. It's actually one of the places I want to go to. So it's definitely
beautiful.
But I did end up making it to Grand Canyon, but never like Arizona. So that's what I kind of use, YouTube and some video elements too.
Okay. Well, thank you. Great question. I'm sorry. Great question, Tiffany. Okay, so we have one more question, and then we're going to play a game with you guys. So, I'm sorry, I was trying to stop the cough, and it's like, yeah, no. Can you please give us a sneak peek of what's next in your writing journey?
Yes, everybody's been waiting for this one. I feel like I'm letting my fans down by telling everyone I'm on a hiatus. But believe it or not, and I am true to that I've been on a hiatus like the last 6 to 9 months. I haven't written a thing other than the edits. But just yesterday, Tuesday night, I was doing an interview and I was like, she gave me a nugget, and I think I'm going to do a little holiday novella. So that's probably going to be the only thing you're going to get out of me. It's sweet. But yeah, talking to her, I was like, ooh, now something short and sweet that I could kind of get me excited and just kind of refresh me, but don't feel like a deadline. I think
got you, girl.
And keep the fans still on the edge.
Kind of like, okay, gotta wet their tongues again.
Yeah.
Yahrah St. John still has it. So yeah,
girl, you gonna always have it. You're Yahrah. Stop it. Okay, Jennifer Copeland has a question. How do you celebrate after each release?
Travel.
Girl,
travel. You know it, Tiffany. That is probably the best thing. Yes, because really especially this last, like, I think I started, the first book got published in 2022 with her best friend's brother. So I felt like I just had a very tough deadline the last, like I was literally writing these 6 books like every 4 or 5 months. Wow. You know, and it was a really tight deadline, but I was determined for them to all come out pretty close together so you weren't waiting forever. So I do tend to travel. Tiffany knows it.
Girl, pictures.
You would think I was her best friend.
Tiffany knows it. I ain't gonna lie. I celebrate. I travel. The husband,
and I love it.
You know, we went to South Africa last year. You know, did our bucket list. We did Dubai, and we're going to Bali in 5 months.
I'm in the suitcase already. I just thought you should know.
No, girl, I'm coming with you because I'm the suitcase, because I want to go. I gotta live vicariously. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. And I'm happy that you share pictures because they're so beautiful. And I'm like, I feel like I'm living with you. I
hope so, because I remember when I was getting married, me and Freddie and I shared everything I could about the wedding and my planning, showing dresses and locations and everything. So I try to bring you along with me, even if you don't per se see me write something specific at that moment. But
I love it. So, Yeah, I love it. So thank you for sharing because I'm like, girl, I'm going at some one of them authors' luggage one day. So thank you guys for again. If you have a comment, please feel free to put it in the comments section, and I promise I'll get me or Tiffany will read it to Yahrah. All right. So are you guys ready to play a game? Can we play this in building relationships around books? And by the way, we will have a book discussion this Sunday with Yahrah St. John on Breakpoint. I want to make sure I said it right because y'all know I'm a little dyslexic, okay? So we will have a book discussion 5 p.m. Sunday. If you want to join, you can email me at brabonline@gmail.com. All right. So you guys ready to play a game?
Yes.
And everybody's should and can participate. You can put your answers into the comment section. You ready? Let's see. Let's see. All right. And this is would you rather. So we're always going to start with Yahrah. So we want to hear what you have to say. So would you rather write a second chance romance or a love triangle?
Second chance.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Second chance.
Oh, I love second chances, but since I've never written a love triangle, I would love.
I haven't written a love triangle,
Yeah,
so
it never came.
yeah,
Story never came.
Those seem complicated.
it
Those
does.
are complicated.
Yeah.
You know, who do you root for?
Yeah. Like, dang, I like him and him. Somebody got to lose. So, good choices, lady. All right. So, would you rather watch a new series with Tay Diggs or Morris Chestnut?
Morris Chestnut.
Morris. Like, there's no question. There's no stall.
No hesitation for either of you. Okay.
No.
No, it's all about sexy chocolate all day long.
Yes.
Have you
Give
guys
it up
watched
for sexy chocolate.
Have you guys watched the new series he's in?
Watson, yes.
I love it. I love it. So for
He
me,
ages like fine wine.
every year he's gorgeous. Like how do you still fine and get finer?
Freddie knows that would be my pass.
I think everybody pass. All right. Now I have this question. And are you ready? I know.
Yeah.
So, if you in some legal trouble, right? Okay. Fictional legal trouble. Who are you going to go to? Which attorney? Maxine Shaw from Living Singles or Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show? Mm-hmm. I know.
I'm gonna go with Claire because I'm so old school.
I agree, Claire. I need somebody that's business minded, straight to the point. Yeah. I feel like Maxine plays too much.
Yeah, I don't know if she's
But that's also me with being in corporate America. Like that's what I want to represent me. Maxine was just a little too laid back for me, and it's
Yeah, me too. So I'm all about Miss Claire Huxtable because she didn't play about her job and doing it right. All right, next question. Are you ready? You on a good weekend, you and your husband. You know what? We got a concert, but you can only go to one. Who you going to with? Stephanie Mills or Shaka Khan?
That's a tough one.
Stephanie Mills, I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
Stephanie. Yeah, for me, it's Stephanie. That lady can sing. That lady can sing.
Home, you know.
Ooh.
What you gonna do with my loving?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like I gotta think about the songs and what I'm going to sing to. And Shaka lately has been going off the rails for me, so I'ma just leave her on the side.
She's a little team haterish. All right. Next and last question. And it doesn't matter what you order at these two places. Are you team Starbucks or are you team Dunkin' Donuts?
I used to be Starbucks, but these prices.
Right.
wrong. So I'm Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I went to Starbucks the other day and it was $8, and I'm like, what did I get? Yeah.
Unless I
Right.
got a gift card, it's Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, it's Dunkin' for me, definitely. But at work, we only have Starbucks nearby. So
Mhm. But
I'm sort of
I'm team
stuck with
Starbucks.
Starbucks. Like in my
Yeah.
building, that's who Aramark uses. That's who
Got you.
they,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Huh.
I don't have a choice. I'd rather
Got you. No,
Dunkin'.
really? See, Dunkin' don't never get my order right ever. Every time I go there, I got to go back. So I'm team Starbucks, even though they high. I'm team Starbucks. So I want to say thank you guys for playing this game tonight. I hope you had a little bit of fun tonight. And we have a giveaway. And if Yahrah can tell us what she is generous, girl, get the word out for me, Tiffany.
Generously donating.
Generously. There you go. Yes, because the word wasn't coming.
Autographed copy of Breakpoint.
Yes. So thank you. Look, and that beautiful cover. So if you would like to be entered into this contest, I need a number between 1 and 15 without going over. Please put it in the comment section. And as soon as we get all the numbers, we'll look at it and we will let you know who won. So Tiffany, do you have another question for Miss Yahrah?
No, I don't.
Really?
If I think of anything, I'll email her. But like, I think I got what I needed.
Okay, so I do have a question, and this is an author-based question. How do you? Okay, so again, this is not me, but this is an author-based question. How do you go about writing a short story? So I'm gonna tell you this. I'm in the process of writing a Java City Christmas. It was supposed to be like a 10,000 word
We still waiting
little.
on it.
I know, but listen, I know Tiffany supposed to be nice. Supposed to be nice. Okay, it started at 10,000. It didn't start. That's what the goal. Well, no, I'll go to 25,000. No, so we had 45,000. So how do you be able to curtail and get that short stories in? Because I am having an issue of doing that.
I've written about, what was it, 3 or 4 of them,
Mhm.
but for me, it's more like a moment in time.
Mm.
So I'm capturing like a
A
weekend,
5-day series.
a very
Yeah.
short, condensed time frame.
Okay.
But so obviously the love story, the romance has to happen quickly.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's why a second chance or friends to lovers or something like that can come out really easily.
Tony, really? You calling me out?
You know she will.
Calling you out, girl. But yeah, I think a short, condensed time frame.
Okay.
And you know, if the characters know each other, I think that's
Mhm.
helpful. Or it's
Okay.
just a quick, you know, if it is kind of insta lust or something like that,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to keep it to a short time frame.
Okay.
But that's
Okay.
how the few short stories that I've done have worked.
Okay.
Let me find
Thank
out you
you.
write about Chatty Cathy.
Girl, I gotta talk to you after this. But this book don't seem to want to shut up. So I thank you. I appreciate you giving me advice. We do have a
Absolutely.
winner, and the lucky number was 7. And Tony Benita, she said she wanted it, and baby, you got it. So
Yeah.
congratulations, you are the winner. And if you can, girl, I got your mailing address.
Wait,
So
didn't you two just see each other in Florida?
No, I missed her. I didn't go to the event. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Just checking. Because I know there was a book event and it was in your backyard.
they missed each
I was
other.
off traveling, girl. I was off traveling.
Having fun. So thank you once again, Yahrah, for your generosity. Congratulations, Tony Benita. I will double check with your address, even though I know it's right, but I like to do it just for my comfort. So I want to say thank you, Yahrah St. John, for joining us today. I am I'm still a fangirl. I know I'm an author now, but I'm still excited reader, Sharon Blount. And so thank you. I had a good time. I hope you did too. And I didn't ask this question in the beginning. I usually do. Can you please tell tell the readers where can they contact you if they want to inquire how to buy some physical books directly from you, website, and everything else.
My website is Yahrah, YAHRAHSTJOHN.com. You can, if you click on my website, it'll take you to my Facebook, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my YouTube. And it'll also have where you can email me at too, which is yahrah@yahrahstjohn.com.
And to sign up for the newsletter.
There you go, Tiffany. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, girl, for having my back. It was coming, but it was going slow today. So I want to say, guys, thank you so much. I had a wonderful time. As you see, I'm still glowing because I'm such a fangirl. And once again, I want to say I am still very much proud of you for all the hard work you have put in to get to this 50th book. Not everybody gets there. And I cannot wait for more books to come out for you because you are my one-click author. So congratulations on that 50th book. And we will see you Sunday because I can't wait to start talking about these characters on Sunday.
Yes.
I love it.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody. That's why I stopped asking questions, because I was about to get into the book and I was like, hold it.
That's my problem. So before we go, I want to take a quick second to say thank you for coming every week, supporting me in my new endeavor with Java City Literary Lounge. I hope you have been enjoying it. Just know every time you see an author in this seat, they are supporting the Reading Warriors Choice Awards. So they are literally sponsors while helping themselves. So if you would like to find out more information, you can email me at brabonline@gmail.com to become a sponsor of the Reading Warriors Choice Awards. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend with a book, as always. And wait,
see you Sunday.
Bye, ladies. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. What happened? It won't. Uh-oh. Hold on.